Now.
Now.
Now. Well,
Now.
right now isn't just then?
Yep.
As in just now.
Well, no, as in 11 seconds ago.
Ah. Okay.
So 15, 16, 17, 18.
You don't have to count for the whole thing.
You know the drill. Ah, boy, howdy. It's a windy, blustery day today.
It is a cold, wet, rainy day today.
Oh, we're sharing weather. I think it might rain later. Maybe you're sending it our way. That's how that works, right?
Yeah, we're like right next to each other. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no. Anyway, man, so I was just noticing I posted a Hero versus Stats game, a PvP, to my channel. Regular old PvP. Like to do mirror matchups every once in a while, just because, people like the mirror matchups. It has 0 comments.
0.
I posted it 7 hours ago. Hold on a second.
The Hero vs. Stats, 9 hours. 0 comments.
Okay, I'm back. What was that?
It was 9 hours ago.
Yeah.
And there's 0 comments.
I know. I haven't had a video post on my channel that has 0 comments in... since I got started, I think. I think there are still some videos out there of mine that have 0 comments, just because they were early and I sucked and nobody knew who I was.
Right.
And very, very few times have people ever gone back and watched my whole catalog. Fatty started a while ago, and then he got engaged and that stopped.
Right, yeah.
But it's weird. I mean, I know it's a PvP, but I don't know. People like Stats. People like Hero. I thought it was a fun game, but boy, howdy.
Yeah.
I mean, 500 views is really low, but 0 comments that's what's really, really getting to me here.
I mean, it got 3 thumbs down as well.
That's very true.
You think the people who are, so unhappy with the thing that they got for free that they would click a button to show their displeasure would also say so in the comments. Right?
You'd think
I feel
so.
like there's a big overlap there, but apparently not.
I mean, I don't pay attention to thumbs downs. So, yeah, if you want to give me a thumbs down, you might as well leave a comment so I know you did. Because, I don't know, man. Thumbs downs are just a way of life. Like, show me a channel that has any decent size at all that doesn't get thumbs downs, and I will be shocked. Everybody gets thumbs downs, even just from trolls. Even if there are people who are like, I like your content, I'm just going throwing thumbs down because I live for the chaos. You're going to get those. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, you could people just going through, why are you recommending me StarCraft? I hate StarCraft, YouTube, thumbs down. Like, that's just, I don't know, there's so many reasons. That's all. That's how this works.
Yep. That is how that works.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's weird, but it's all good. It's all good. Well, now there's a comment. Just got a notification there. Oh, you even found one of my old Hearthstone casts to put a comment on.
Yeah.
Back when I used to upload Hearthstone.
Filtered it by oldest videos, and then just opened 6 at random and scrolled down to see if they had comments.
And you found one.
Yeah.
Found a Goblins versus Gnomes cast that are a game that I put up on, March 2015.
That was a while ago.
It's a while ago. Yeah, this is back when I was doing Hearthstone stuff. And I don't know. There's a lot of really popular Hearthstone channels out there. Wondering if maybe I would have gotten bigger if I'd kept with this, but my heart is with StarCraft, I must say. I just didn't have as much fun casting this, so I stopped.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of, it's been a while since I was interested in StarCraft, Hearthstone stuff on YouTube, but a lot of it's like creative builds or being very, very good at the children's card game, and you were neither, right? Because you just like to play the same kind of decks I do, which is the random decks.
Right.
And then they're not particularly creative, and they're not good.
Right. But every game is different.
Yes.
Right? If you're doing a deck that is pre-built and you have this win condition, just this combo of cards that you win with, it's like either you get it or you don't. For that reason, I don't watch Hearthstone videos. I mean, sometimes I'll watch compilations of gonna steal content from people on Twitch who are putting it out there and compile it into the fun stuff in one video, aka Trollden, and just benefit off it that way. But yeah, I don't watch anybody who plays. I'd never sit down and watch a Hearthstone stream. I'd never do that.
It's not gonna happen.
No, I don't think so. Not at this point. How is this 50 minutes long? This isn't one game.
You watching your own video?
I'm just kind of scrolling through trying to figure out why it's an hour. What it was doing. Maybe it's an arena run. Hang on, let me go to the beginning here. What did I choose? No, it's just regular old ranked stuff. Okay, so it's definitely not just one game. It's a whole bunch. Why am I just... Okay, whatever, it's fine.
I like how some of your videos, right,
Uh-oh.
didn't have comments.
Yeah.
But now Fatty has commented 3 times.
Yes. Sometimes Fatty goes a little nuts with the old stuff. Or he did, again, before he got engaged and fell off the face of the earth.
He could have finished. I don't know.
He could have finished
just
watching
finished
all
watching
my
the old
videos, all 2,000 of my videos? Maybe.
Right, but he was only doing it up until the point he'd already seen. So it wasn't like...
Oh, that's true. When did he start? I don't know.
It was about 5 months ago. That he
Oh
was
gosh, so it's a
commenting on some of
lot.
these videos.
So it's a lot. Also, speaking of Fatty, I think you're winning the bet. So Fatty has this tradition of coming into his own Discord server and saying, hey, and then if you go, hey, Fatty, how's it going? He doesn't respond. Because he literally just opens Discord, types something in, and then closes Discord, disables notifications, and walks away forever.
I'm pretty sure he actually stomps on his phone and goes and buys a new one.
That would explain a lot. And then, yeah, like anywhere from 4 to 24 hours, he'll be like, hey, things are good. How's it going? It is the longest small talk conversation you'll ever have. So he did this today, and I put a bet of within 4 hours, 7 hours ago, so I lost that bet. And then Samacron tossed it and said 12 to 24. So you're still in the running here. It's looking good.
Still in the running. Yep. See, this technically kind of cheats because if he does it like at a particular time in the morning, like he did today, within 24 hours, he'll do it again tomorrow. So that, like, as long as he does it 2 days in a row, I'll win, which he usually does sometimes.
Interesting. Okay.
But it's getting sporadic because of wedding planning.
Yeah.
So maybe I will lose, but I think I may have found the sweet spot where I'm like, sure thing to win.
I mean, you beat me anyway. So in that sense, you've won.
Oh,
we
yeah.
could both lose, though, I guess.
True fact.
Yeah.
This could be the last thing we ever hear from Fatty.
Could be. He could disappear off the face of the earth.
True fact.
Truth be told. Anyway. Yeah, so Fatty's probably dead. What else is going on? Nobody comments on my YouTube videos, and I'm very sad about it.
I just commented on like 4 videos that didn't have any. Cheer up, Buttercup.
I do feel better about that. It's true. What's this one? Is this like an old... Life versus Hyun. Hot dang. This is before Life got banned forever. I don't know that Hyun even plays anymore.
I don't know who Hyun is.
Yeah, so he doesn't.
Who's that?
Hyun is a Korean Zerg player, according to the Wikipedia. He hasn't done anything since 2014.
Fair enough.
Does it say he's retired, though? To the internets. No. It just says he's teamless. So he joined Quantic Gaming in 2013. I mean, according to history, it says he was on Jin Air Green Wings until 2016, which is when everything fell apart, I think.
Right. I think it's fairly safe to say if he's not done anything, like he hasn't even qualified for anything or
Yeah.
played a qualifying match, he's retired.
Yeah. I mean, he qualified for like 5 major events in every year starting in 2014. And so he hasn't since 2016. So yeah, I assume he's done. It's weird. It doesn't show. I actually created a Team Liquipedia account so I can be like, he hasn't played anything. I'm declaring him dead. That'll work.
You're calling it, Doctor?
Yes. Calling it. Are
Sounds
you
fair.
still commenting on videos?
I wouldn't.
So for
Great.
those of you who don't know, I do get notified of every comment that anybody ever makes on my channel chronologically. So I just have a comment. Everybody who has a YouTube channel just has a comments page, and the most recent comment on whatever video it is, no matter when it was posted, is at the top.
Right.
So, yep.
The best thing is if I find a video with only one comment, because I have mod powers for your channel, I can delete that comment and make mine the only one.
That's true, actually.
I could do that with like the videos that have like 4,000 comments, but
Yes.
that would take a lot of work.
It'd take a while. Also, I forgot to give you mod powers on my channel. Have you ever used those for anything?
Sometimes I sit and chat and just watch, but I haven't seen any times I've needed it.
Okay, fair
Right?
enough.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Certainly not like in the live streams. I've certainly never needed it for the like just regular uploads.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff gets caught by the auto moderator anyway. And like,
Fair.
yeah, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of this, but most of the time, it's like, oh, you did a pretty good job. Like, this is literally just all the bad words you know in one post without any context. We'll leave that one out. Speaking of Wikipedia, so yesterday, Sunday the 15th, I was casting Africa with Laughing Games, which, by the way, you should watch us out there. I know it is the most impossible thing in the world to get people to watch StarCraft on a new platform, but there's fun stuff out there. We'll put a link in the show notes, I guess. But bottom line, we had Denver playing, the French Zerg player.
Denver, Colorado. Right.
No, it's not. And I've always had the theory that he was named after Denver the Last Dinosaur, which was a cartoon made by an American-French corporation, a joint operation between America and France, effectively, that aired back in 91, 92. And he's too young. Like, he was not alive, I don't think, when this was airing, but I was like, it's gotta be. It's gotta be because of Denver the Last Dinosaur. And then it got rebooted in 2018.
Here's the thing. I think it was Roddy. I was watching him cast Sunlink, all right? And Denver was coming up. He was like WCS Challenger or something. And he said, you know, every time I play him on the ladder, I say, hello, Denver, Colorado. And he never says anything. But this one time, he asked me to stop doing it because it makes him sad. And it turns out it is from Denver the Dinosaur.
Yes! So did he get that clarified too?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I asked him, I put in Google Translate. It's like, do you know Denver the Last Dinosaur? And he was like, oui. And I was like, oh, is your name because of Denver the Last Dinosaur? And he said yes. So I edited his Wikipedia page to indicate that's where his name came from.
Very good.
Yes, I'm very proud of
Very
myself. Contributing to Wikipedia, helping the StarCraft universe be more complete. One edit at a time.
Contributing to the forest of all knowledge.
Exactly. Because, I don't know, that's a curious thing, right? Like, why does this French person have Denver as his name? There is no town in France named Denver. Why does he have a random American city name as his name? Because he doesn't. Because it's not that. Now
Why
we
do
know.
all the Korean players have random English words as their names?
Right. It's a fair question.
You remember that great old American Korean cartoon, Innovation the Dinosaur? Come on, it was great. Everyone watched it.
Maybe there is one. You don't know. There could have definitely been an Innovation the Dinosaur cartoon on when he was a kid.
Innovation the Dinosaur. Let's Google it.
You have to type it in Korean, though.
I have Google Translate.
There you go.
Like, you think this will be an issue? But no. Why would I put it in Korean? His name's in English. If it was in Korean, he'd write his name in Korean if it was from that.
But why would a Korean TV show have an English word in the title?
Because it's Korean American. It was an American show brought over to Korea, not the other way around.
All right, fair enough. I'll give you that point.
There is a website called innovatedinosaur.com.
Dun dun dun. We've uncovered something here.
Appears to be an educational site. It says play, learn, and blog. So shop.
So not a cartoon. Rats.
No. No, not cartoon rats either.
No, not cartoon rats. Anywho, speaking of StarCraft, we have some accounting for bets to look at here.
Yes. Yes, we do.
So we have Ye Olde Global StarCraft 2 League Season 3.
Mm-hmm.
Code S. We had some playoff games. We had the quarterfinals complete.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're unaware, what we like to do every once in a while here on the channel or here on the podcast is make bets about who's going to perform well in GSL and WCS and something like that. Usually GSL, though.
Right.
Right. So we made some bets. We each chose 4 players as part of this 8-player quarterfinal to make it through and progress. And whoever has the most players that make it through and progress wins.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some bets involved.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I remember right, if you lose, I make you sing a song again on the pod.
I think that was still in, like...
Is it
I
negotiations?
think that was still up for debate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you were going to change the name of the guild to Sword Art Online? Log Horizon?
No. Well, I did put that forward as a possible, but
Yes.
then I retracted it
Right.
because the guild had already been finalized.
Because it's impossible.
So I couldn't.
Exactly.
Yes. I'd have to disband the build and go pay for another 9 signatures, and I don't want to have to do that.
Right. Because all of our 6 people in the guild would be very upset if we disbanded. We have
And
6?
they lose all the benefits guilds provide.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
many benefits, like
Yeah.
the conversation that never happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyway. All right. So in this quarterfinals, we have Dark TY, Rogue, Zest, Keen, Trap, Maru, and Ragnarok. It's a pretty standard little list of players here.
Mm-hmm.
For 2019, I ended up going with... Where's my playoffs? Here it is. Is that right? Rogue, Trap, Ragnarok, and Dark?
Yep.
Okay. And then who did you have?
Maru's STY and Keen.
Okay. So, first one, Dark versus TY.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Dark went 3-2 over TY.
Yeah.
So, I got
Yep.
that one, but just barely.
Just barely. And then game 2 was Rogue v Zest.
Mm-hmm.
We're going 3-2, so you
Again.
you get that one.
Yeah,
again,
barely
very
squeak it out.
close.
3-2 again.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And this one, I feel like I tipped you off that this was going to happen, right?
Yes.
So, because I did not want Keen, but was forced to have him.
Correct.
So this doesn't quite count, but Trap did. No, it doesn't count for the curse. Not that you didn't predict right.
Oh. No, you predicted it. That's not a curse. You nailed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trap 3-0'd Keen. So.
Brutal. So, I get that one too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the last game, Maru v Ragnarok. Maru proving that he does not lose in GSL.
Right.
So
Maru is
going 3-1.
back, baby. 3-1 Ragnarok. Look at him take down a Zerg. Yes. I mean, it wasn't stats, but it's a step in the right direction of winning again. Because, man, he's been so bad recently.
Yes.
Yeah, that was encouraging, honestly. 3-1.
The problem is he now goes up against Trap, who just 3-0'd Keen.
Yes, that is concerning. Trap's PVT seems really on point right now.
Yes.
And Trap is sort of on a terrifying streak at the moment, so.
Yes.
All right. So, how do we decide this? Do I just win because I got 3 of the 4 through?
No.
You can't win. Like, all you can do is be like, Maru got through, hooray.
Maru could still win the entire thing. It's not. That's like me saying, "Oh, do I just win because I guessed 4 out of 4 possible entries from Group C and D?"
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
You win by a landslide. That means you get to take the first pick on who you think will win the next round, or this round.
And then
Which is what we did for the last one.
Like, the ultimate winner wins the whole bet?
Yeah.
But I want to get something for guessing 3 out of the 4 right. Come on, man.
You do. You get to go first.
I want something. I want a cookie. Send me a cookie.
Come on, man. Let it go.
I think the podcast listeners will agree with me that we spent all this time and I put all this mental energy into picking the correct 3 out of the 4 players in the first round, and I get nothing for it, and that's garbage.
I picked I picked the 4 players who had moved on from the last 2 groups, and I got nothing for it.
You got the first pick over in the playoffs.
You get the second pick.
We got nothing from the group stages because you said, no, I don't want about anything. I'm afraid.
What? Why would I give out a prize for not the person winning the championship?
Well, then why are we picking anyway? Why didn't we just pick players to win the championship?
Because I want to see your predictions for who will move on now.
Well, how about we just go with the people we picked from the quarterfinals? Those are our people for the final.
So what you're saying is
3
you
and you
get
get 1.
Dark Maru Trap and I get just Maru.
Yes.
You get 3 and I get 1.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, you know what, then you can have all 3 of them then. Because it's not going to matter, because you don't care who you get. So
Right.
I know I want Maru, and you don't care who you get, so it doesn't matter who I want for Dark v Rogue. So I'm giving you your damn cookie. I'm still confident Maru can win the whole thing.
Oh, hot dang. All right. I'm down. Let's do that.
Yeah. Although, have you determined which, I assume, Disney princess song I will be singing?
No, I'll do that after I win. If I win.
Hmm.
See, what I don't want to do is come up with something incredible and then be disappointed when I lose.
Right, but then you get to save it for BlizzCon. Or GSL Super
It
Tournament.
feels like bad karma. It feels like if I pick out the punishment before anything happens, that the universe will just punish me for my cockiness.
Right.
That's how the universe works, you know.
Sure.
Sure.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
man, in the current state of the game, for you to take the 1 Terran amongst the Rezergs and Protoss, that is gutsy.
Maru doesn't lose versus other Koreans, right? He did 4 consecutive GSLs.
Except for
in a
stats.
row.
Sure. Other
Stats
Koreans
ain't
outside
here.
of stats.
Stats ain't
I
here.
know, but you can't say he doesn't lose versus Koreans because he loses versus stats all the time.
Not all the time. Just every time he faces him, right?
You can't do that. You can't be like, I'm contradicting you, but really, I'm just going to rephrase exactly what you said.
I mean,
Because I
look,
gear up
if
for
he
an
only
argument, and then you're like, I agree with you. And it's like,
Okay, look. Trap ain't stats. I don't know. How do I put it? Cyril only lost a couple times. Like, he's only lost to Raynor. But, like, we're looking at a bracket where Raynor's not here. So he could do it. Maru's the only the only Korean player to win 4 consecutive GSLs. That's impressive. That still counts. He's still Maru.
he
I
is.
still see him walking away from this.
But in every sport ever, ball sport or esport, a decline begins somewhere.
Sure.
And I'm just saying, it could be the start of the decline.
Sure.
Okay. And it also could still be 100% Maru. We don't know. This will help determine that a lot.
Right, but that feels more like a historical view on it. It's like, okay, if he loses here, we can see that he's like, in 5 years' time, we can see that, oh, this was the start of the decline.
Yeah, totally.
Right, that first drop in GSL last season. I don't think that's particularly relevant, like, useful here. Right? It's like, sure, historically that could show us something when we have more data, but we don't have the data now, so there's no
Right.
point worrying about it.
Right. No, I'm just saying that's a possibility, right? You can say Maru is still Maru, but I'm just saying there's a possibility he's not Maru anymore. That's all I'm saying. It's an option.
Right.
How old is he?
Like 12.
He's 12? That'd be amazing.
No,
This 12-year-old's just winning GSLs.
He's 22.
So you can't really
July
make the
28.
argument that he's too old or getting there.
Exactly. All right.
He's a baby still. So if he does start to decline, it's not going to be a result of just aging and losing reflexes and all the stuff that happens.
No. If anything, I would much more likely say it's his mentality that will lose him, not like his declining physical ability.
Right. Because that's, there's a lot of ways you can start to decline, and that's one of
Yeah.
them. So, far enough. All right, cool. So I'm glad your belief in Maru has been restored after beating Ragnarok. That's pretty cool.
I never lost faith in Maru. I've always backed Maru.
You have always backed Maru, but man, It's been a rough go of it recently.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah. All right. Well, good stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. Watch GSL.
We also have Nation Wars
Yay.
playoffs announced. Did you see that?
Yeah, because they're like doing. I don't think they call them the group stages, but they're doing like qualifiers, right?
Well, I don't think qualifiers is the word because that implies these people might not make it to Nation Wars, but these are the people already in Nation
Well,
Wars.
but literally every nation goes to Nation Wars. Okay, that's not true.
Right. Well, yeah.
Anyway.
If they don't have players.
Fine. They've been playing Nation Wars matches already, just not countries we really care about.
Right.
Yeah, I've been following the Twitter account. It's been busy with stuff like, I don't know who these players are. Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Group stages is what they call them.
They're calling them group stages. Okay, cool.
Looks that way.
Do you have the Liquipedia? Is there a Liquipedia bracket or anything? Or
I
something?
think I do. I'm just making sure this is the right one. No, it's Nation Wars 4. This isn't 4, is it?
I don't know. I don't keep track of numbers very
No.
well.
No. Okay. I have 2019. This appears to be the most recent one. There's a bunch of TBDs on it.
Yeah,
This
that
one
makes
they
sense.
released a list of being like these countries were versing these countries, but this does not have it, which is annoying.
Like for the playoff?
Yeah, they released a picture that was X countries versus X countries, right?
Yeah. Holy crap.
What?
Germany got beat by the Netherlands.
Sure.
Euthermal
don't see
beat
that
Showtime, Hero Marine, TLO, and Showtime again.
I don't know where you see this. I do
So,
not see
Group Germany on the page you sent me, right side top next to Group Korea on the left side.
this. Did it? I do not see this.
Oh, I might be on the wrong one. Did I click the wrong page?
Oh.
I sure did. Never mind. Disregard. That would have been super cool, though. Did not happen.
Yeah.
Happened at some point, though.
Try this link. This link might be slightly better. You can see that / qualifiers in there. And then scroll down and it'll show you a bunch of matches. So first up is like France versus Iran.
Ah, yes, I see now. How come there's no results? I swear we've had results.
Nope, still haven't played these yet.
What have I been looking at on the Twitter account then? To Twitter. Yeah, it's Indie StarCraft beats Beast of QT. I don't know, like a streamer's invitational thing they did.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So they don't do the qualifiers until September 30th.
Mm-hmm.
But they did like this streamer's invitational thing to kind of. They said to hype up Nation Wars, but like, sure, whatever. I don't know what that has to do with
Sure.
Nation Wars, but fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're hyping it up for something that happens in like 12 days.
Yeah.
Seems a little.
Well, and they have like the country flags next to the players for
right,
Indie and
right.
Beast of QT, so okay, fine. It's kind of Nation War-y.
It's a little annoying that like I click on in Team Liquid. I'm like, okay, I want to see who the Australian players are playing, like versus Belarus match 6. Clicking on them doesn't tell me that. I have to like scroll up and then look and find them,
Yeah, it's not great.
and then look back down. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, well,
Nation War's coming soon. Not here yet.
not here yet.
No.
Any predictions on which nations will go far?
I don't know, man. Because crazy stuff happens in Nation Wars. Korea gets beat in Nation Wars sometimes.
Do they?
Yeah, remember that one time?
That one time?
That one time it happened.
Well, let's see. Nation Wars 5, it was Korea
Uh-huh.
that won.
Right.
Nation Wars 4, Korea.
Mm-hmm. Right.
3, France,
There, that's the one.
Beating.
France.
beating Korea.
Yep.
Nation Wars 2 was just called Norway versus Korea.
Nation Wars. Norway versus Korea.
Korea won. Regular Nation Wars. I don't think Korea participated because they apparently didn't even get a top 4.
Yeah, that'd be strange if they didn't even make a top 4.
So they've lost 1. You're right, exactly 1.
Yes. There haven't been
That
that
was a
many,
while
so
ago.
statistically, Korea has not
25%?
won. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean that was when Marine Lord took down Hydra, Innovation, Parting twice, and Innovation. Like, what the heck, Marine Lord? And there's all this talk about, well, it was 2 a.m. in Korea, and there was lag. Players were playing from their own countries, and right,
That would do it.
yeah. So there are a lot of excuses for why Korea couldn't beat Marine Lord once the entire finals.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a 91% win rate in this Nation Wars. Is that like the greatest accomplishment of Marine Lord's entire career? Beating those players in a row in a major tournament?
I would certainly put it up there.
So I'm checking his achievements page, and took second place in DreamHack Valencia back in 2016. He's got some third and second and fourth places in some Gfinity stuff, WCS Regional Europe. Yeah, it is. That's the best thing he's ever done. Is basically single-handedly win Nation Wars in 2016. And for that, he won $2,000.
That's gonna sting. It's like I beat top tier Koreans in a time when no one was, and I got the least amount of money ever for it.
Seriously, 21-2 across the entire Nation Wars, shellacks Korea single-handedly, and goes home with $2,000. What a story! Yeah, I don't know what he ate for breakfast that day because he's not done anything that good ever.
Yeah.
He's a great player, but man, is he in this Nation Wars? Is he on the Team France? Let's find out. This is interesting. So it's Nation Wars 3, 4, 5, but this one is called Nation Wars 2019
Yes.
for some reason.
France was not an invited nation, so they're going through the qualifiers.
The Nation Wars page has...
Petit Drogo, Clem, Marine Lord, and Denver.
Okay, so he is in there.
Yes.
Gotta recapture some of that magic, Marine Lord. Let's do it.
Who's France going up against? It's Iran.
Yeah,
Okay,
they'll
so
be fine.
I feel good for them. Yeah. Yeah. Can you name a single Iranian player? Please go.
Gosh, no. Heavens, no.
No, you couldn't name Sam? Come on.
Sam?
Everyone knows Sam.
Sam or San?
Sam.
Sam. Of course. He's the Iranian Protoss, yeah?
This is his Wikipedia page.
Did you even see what race he plays? Nope.
Nope.
Poor Iran.
We're
Amazing.
a little busy at the moment.
Yeah, fair. Fair. Anyway, good. Looking forward to Nation Wars. Looking forward to GSL. Looking forward to BlizzCon at some point. It's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. It should be fun.
Cannot wait for BlizzCon betting. It's going to be fun.
For 2020, I might impose a rule on the betting. I might formalize the rules of this.
Oh, so they're standardized instead of we make them up different every time?
Yes.
Yeah, good idea. Let's do that.
Yeah. Yep.
So enough StarCraft. You've been watching... I
Okay.
assume you've been watching Mindhunter since you posted the thing in the Discord.
Yeah, I watched a little bit.
What's a little bit mean?
The first season.
Nice. Me too. Watched the whole first
Woo.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. I think it's so good. Do you think it's so good?
I think it's up there. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
For
Yeah.
sure. You know what's interesting? So I don't know if
What?
I mentioned this on the last pod, but the first 10 minutes of the first episode, the guy blows his head off with a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most graphic the violence gets in the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah? Outside of here's a picture of some dead people, and here's us talking about specifics to a murder. But as far as we're going to show you on screen horrific violence, that's the only thing there is.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just weird. I was expecting more when they opened it with this guy literally blows his head off with a shotgun.
I feel like that was intentional. Yeah, because it's okay, here's the lead. It's oh, okay, they're going to show us people blowing their heads off. And then it's, oh, this is about the psychology. right?
Yes, for sure.
And then it like, and so it starts off with something that's hyper graphical, and then moves to something that's just as intense for the rest of the season, but in a completely different vein.
So basically, they're saying we just need to set an MA tone here, adults only, trying to say this is not for kids.
Yes.
But they didn't want to introduce like the psychological, just disturbing
Right.
aspects of it right off the bat.
Yeah, because like another reason for like my theory on why that would be for the ratings is because there's also just random nudity in that scene as well.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, it's like, all right, let's get all the big tags out of the way so the
Right, but they
Everyone
have
knows what they're
nudity
watching.
later on in the season. So I mean, that was at least like okay, at least they're continuing. That makes sense.
yeah. Well,
I don't do this until I don't like to do this until I'm caught up with the show. But I read a couple episode recaps for a couple episodes I had questions about. We'll go back to that in a second. But basically, they introduced the concept that like is Holden Ford like a sociopath,
yes.
right? You think he is, or you think yes? I had that same question.
Yes to both. Like
Okay.
both. Yeah.
You have the question, and you think he is.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I
What about-
totally think he's on the scale somewhere. I think we have seen some times where he has, like, totally parroted human social cues and interactions and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in a way a sociopath would do.
Mm-hmm.
And it sure seems like he's way more just intrigued with what these serial killers are telling him about how he killed these people than he has any empathy for the victims at all.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he absolutely sees like the information that they could give to be way more valuable than any sort of like empathy might be.
Yeah.
like,
And, like-
have for himself. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Tetch he's this hardened detective. He's been in the FBI for decades now. And like he's still disturbed by this stuff, and Ford's just like, you're a wuss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's new. Like he's done some hostage negotiation, but he's like what? 25?
Something like that. Like he's
Yeah.
like 29, I think.
Well,
they,
he
they do
says-
state an age, don't they?
He tells the ladies he tells the ladies in season 2, if you've gotten there at all, that he's almost 30.
Mm.
But that's something you say when you're like 26, right?
Fair enough.
Mostly the truth, and I don't want to say that I'm 26, so I'm going to say I'm almost 30.
Here's the thing. He was like in the FBI and then he went back to college for a few years, so I'm just rounding, like I think he's older than he seems. Just because
Ford
of the
went
time.
back to college?
Yeah, they said that. Like he went back
missed
to
that.
college. It was in like the first episode.
Huh.
Yeah.
Maybe I was distracted.
Possibly.
So hang on. So what did he do with the FBI the first time around? Did he say? Or did they say?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is-
Anyway, fine. So he went to college. He did the FBI for a bit. He went back to college, got another degree in something, and then came back to the FBI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it annoy you that the character's name is Holden Ford?
Yes, it's confused me so much.
It's like, pick a car brand and just roll with it, guys.
Yeah. Wait, is Holden a car brand?
Yes, Holden and Ford are both car brands in Australia. Competing
That's
car brands.
hilarious. Is
It-
Holden like an Australian car brand?
Holden is what General Motors is called in Australia.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Also,
Let's
the
see.
Mindhunter fandom wiki does not work. Like the connection failure.
It loaded
So I
for me, but it doesn't have an age for him.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't have an age.
Mm-mm. Trivia. Nope. Yeah, it doesn't even try to guess. It's not like we assume he's this age. They're just like, he is a person.
Well, I mean, when's the show set?
Like the 70s?
70s.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: he's based off a real person, so we could just guesstimate his age based on
Yeah.
Johnny
that's
Douglas, 1945. So
true. So he's based on.
Johnny Douglas, John
Okay.
E. Douglas. Yeah, he was born in 1945.
Okay, so if we're in the 70s, he's like
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep. or at least almost 30.
Almost 30, because that's what he says. We'll take him at his word, I guess. It is weird he wouldn't just say 29. Although I guess, I don't know. Spoilers, like he gets approached by these people looking for help. As it happens, right? And one of them is super skeptical that he can help them because he looks so young. And so she's like, how old are you? And he's like, I'm almost 30. Such a doof. Anyway, it's good. The reason I went to look at a episode recap is because all of a sudden halfway through the season the show turns into like Law and Order.
Disagree.
So they're talking about they're just developing this theories about sequence killers and serial killers and patterns and multiple killers and stuff. And then they spend 3 episodes in the middle of Pennsylvania looking at one murder. And just doing random boring interviews with people and doing everything Law and Order has been doing for 30 years. And I was like, holy crap, I'm so bored. You disagree. What did you see in those episodes in Pennsylvania?
I see a lot of the groundwork being laid for Holden's like setup into, I think I can sort of do what I want. Like I'm great at this. Right, like he hits his stride and just kind of nails a couple things in a row in those episodes.
Right.
And that really, like, later on, like, they're interviewing a guy, like, who was trimming branches off trees, and they, like, bring him in but don't give him a poly, because if he tricks the poly, that'll just boost his confidence. He'll think he's a god. But that's the same thing that happened to Holden, which is he got a couple things right in Pennsylvania and some other places, and now he thinks he's a god.
Yes.
Right? So I think it's the setup for that. Is the case particularly interesting? Not really.
I mean, it's kind of weird in that officially one dude got goaded into killing the victim, which is weird. And then, like, there's another person who's involved tangentially, so, like, 3 people have varying levels of guilt in this murder, which is, okay, moderately interesting.
Right.
But it's still a one-off, and it's still a crime of passion, and I just don't care.
Yeah, I think it's also supposed to set up, like, continually show the resistance that typical law enforcement will face as they try to apply this, because the idea of stresses being a thing to the DA, I don't know who that guy was that they were trying to convince. I'm not familiar.
He was
with
the DA, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And he was like, I'm on board, but I'm not. He doesn't really quite get it.
Well, that's part of it. Part of it is he doesn't quite get it, and that means that a jury is definitely not going to get it, right?
Right, yeah.
He's smarter than the average jury member, and he's like,
Yes.
I don't understand this, so they're not going to.
Yeah. So while the specifics of those episodes aren't brilliant, I do think they lay the important groundwork for their need to refine it into something usable and Holden's character. So I wasn't bored watching those because I kind
That's
of
fair.
figured out what was happening.
Yeah, and once they got to the point where they're like, if we can't adequately explain this to the people, to law enforcement and to juries and things, then what use is it? Like, we can have all this information in the world, but if it doesn't get applied to anything, then why are we doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got that. That was fine.
All right then.
So yeah, so then the season ends with, first of all, we're told an episode or 2 before that what's his face, co-ed killer, has been sending greeting cards
Ed
to
Kemper?
Holden asking him to come visit.
Yep.
And I'm like, part of me is like, oh, that's sad. He misses you. He just wants someone to talk to. And I'm like, oh no, he's a horrible human being. Let's get that back on track.
Right.
Yeah, and then it's not until this dude tries to commit suicide in prison and puts Holden down as his person of contact does Holden actually go to see him. Without telling his bosses or his coworkers at all, by the way.
Yep.
Which, do you just have a corporate card when you work for the FBI? Or do you, like, do reimbursements? You have your own credit card that you have to fly overseas for.
Dude,
They're not very clear on this. Like, how did he go? He didn't get approval from his boss, so
He could just paid it with his own money.
I guess maybe he just has a bunch of cash.
I mean, is that before or after you see his apartment, which is just completely bare and barren and plain?
It's after. He doesn't spend money on anything else. He buys suits and, like, that's it.
and shoes, one pair of shoes.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, maybe he just has a bank account of like $50,000 because he never spends money on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And rent is pretty
Something
cheap in the 70s. And then he's like, I'll just fly out myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so then he goes to visit the dude and they have a conversation. And it ends with like some pretty intimidating stuff from mister Serial Killer.
The scariest
like,
fucking hug in the world.
Well, yeah, where he sets it up by saying like, you know, there's a flaw in the prison. There's no way to call the guards from the infirmary.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks over, and the person who's like the receptionist or whatever is gone. And there's nobody else there, and Holden's just like, oh.
And he realizes he's in alone with a 6'9", 250 pounds worth of serial killer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's a moment earlier in the season too, though, where this was established. Like, remember, he's talking about killing his mom, and he's talking about how thick the muscles in the throat are.
Mm-hmm.
And he just stands up and wanders over to Holden and just like touches his throat. He's like, "You feel that? You feel how strong those muscles are?" And Holden's like, "Oh my gosh, you can crush my trachea without even really trying."
Yeah.
Yeah. So it had been established, right, that this dude has the ability to kill Holden pretty much whenever he wants, as long as they're visiting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then you kind of think he's going in to do something, and he just hugs him. he just hugs Holden and triggers a panic attack in Holden to where he like passes out. I mean, it's.
Mm-hmm. That's the realization that Ed Kemper is like the closest thing he actually has to a friend in his line of work, and just how like paranoid he is and delusional in his abilities.
You don't think Bill's his friend? Come on, they're sort of friends.
They're co-workers.
They're co-workers, but remember when they get in the car accident and Bill's all pissed off because he was worried that he was going to lose Holden? He cares about him.
I think he cares about him, but he's like, that's like episode 3. This is episode 9 or 10 or whatever, after Holden's like started ratcheting up his godlike view of himself.
And his creepiness? Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
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 Anyway. Cool stuff. I would like to look into how accurate this is, because obviously anytime something like this is made, they take liberties with facts to make it more interesting TV.
Well, yeah. I mean, the original was a book written by the guy Johnny Douglas.
Oh.
So it's written by basically the guy that is Ford.
Interesting. So that perspective's going to be unbiased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely unbiased.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's like, and then I came in and I single-handedly created this whole thing in the FBI, and I was awesome, and I solved all these murder cases, and everything was awesome because of me from then on. The end.
That was the pitch meeting at whatever network. Yeah.
Or like the book publisher first, and they're like, "Ooh, yeah, that's cool."
So I did watch a couple of videos, like the one I showed you.
Yeah.
But there was another one from the actor. I'm gonna try and find it on. Oh god, my YouTube history is now filled with your videos. Me trying to find a comment.
Problematic, yeah.
Yeah, of how he becomes that character, like how he gets into character for that role of Ed Kemper.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. I found it. Which is just interesting. Like, it's not like a background piece or anything. I just think it's interesting. Yeah, because I found those videos, like, that I was mentioning, of direct quotes from each of the serial killers that they interview, and, like, direct quotes from what they actually said are used in the show. So,
yeah.
I think there's a lot of stuff there that probably holds up, like, under general analysis.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it seems like there are definite points wherein they try to be as close to the real interviews as possible, which is cool. I would do the same thing if I was them. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, so I started watching season 2. I think I got 2 episodes in.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just pretty much more of the same. They interview for some more serial killers. There's some more office politics and stuff, and they interview Son of Sam.
Son of Sam.
Yeah, Son of Sam. I didn't know anything about Son of Sam other than he was a serial killer in New York City in the 70s, late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what he did, really. I just figured he was a murderer, didn't know anything else. So, it might be nice maybe to look into him before you start season 2, because I was like, what exactly did this guy do before they went in to interview him? I mean, they
Would
do
they
get
not-
there eventually, but...
They don't just like tell you that, like, when they, because they go through some process of like, who should we interview next, and like
Yeah.
they'll rattle off his crimes. They don't do that with this guy.
A little bit.
No.
It's more that they're just kind of like trying to decide his motivations for certain actions that he takes. Like they basically say "Son of Sam," and everyone's like, "Ah, yeah, Son of Sam. Of course, we know who that is because he's so famous."
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, basically, what he did is he would just like use a .44 revolver to just shoot into cars randomly one summer in New York City at night.
Okay.
Like just be walking across the crosswalk and pull it out and go bam, 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 and then run away.
Huh.
That was it.
Okay.
Killed a bunch of people. He was the guy who started writing letters to the press.
All right.
Yeah. So, I mean, a little bit of spoilers here, but basically, the press starts talking about how he's using a huge gun to compensate for a small penis. And he's like, nuh-uh. So he writes them to explain his motivations and stuff like that, to, like, correct the record. It's important to him that the mythology surrounding him is accurate according to what he wants it to be.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then future serial killers totally copied him on that. Liked that idea and decided to use it for themselves. So,
Okay.
no, interesting stuff. Really like it. Yeah, basically season 2's it for now. I'm not sure when a season 3 will come out. Apparently season 1 is 2016. And then 2019 was season 2, so there might be another huge break. I don't know.
Maybe.
What's funny is there's no time break between seasons 1 and season 2. It's like the next day, here's this stuff happening. I imagine it would be kind of jarring to watch a show that you really liked, and then 2 years later there's a new season, and it's just like no time passed at all for them, you know?
No, I don't think that would be jarring at all. It happens literally all the time with
All
like
the
books
time.
and stuff. All right. I don't think it's any different to pick up a book that just came out in a series. I mean, like, man, like the last one came out 2 years ago, and no time has passed for the characters. Oh my god, this is so strange. I don't.
Not that it's... Yeah, I guess that's fair. I'm not saying that it's strange, but I guess my personal experience with that has been that it's a little bit weird when that happens.
Wasn't there like a big year-long break in like Game of Thrones between season 7 and season 8?
Yes.
Was it weird that no time had passed in the show?
Is there no time that had passed in the show?
Well, I don't know because I didn't see the end of season 7, so I don't know. I'm just
I don't
assuming.
remember where it started. Hold on a second. Yeah, so season 7 ends with the Night King knocking down the wall with the undead dragon Viserion.
Mm-hmm.
And then season 8 starts with Jon and Daenerys having reached Winterfell after kind of deciding to go there at the end of season 7. So, I don't know, however long it takes you to march an army to Winterfell from, like, Dragonstone. So there's a pretty good gap in time.
I mean, yeah, but also that show deals with time gaps a lot more frequently, right? Like,
Yes.
even way back in season 1, it was like, oh, we need to march the King of the North's army down and save Ned Stark. It's going to take months,
Right.
is the idea, right? So I think
Yeah.
time gaps are a little more common in that franchise. So probably didn't, like, no one would notice it, so maybe.
Yeah, no, that makes
Yeah.
sense. Although the longer the series went on, the more distance didn't matter at all. And the more it was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and now we traveled from here to here in a day and a half. It's like, wait, what? How?
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Been watching that 2.5 hour, like, why season 8 of Game of Thrones is garbage. Actually, not even that. Why the last 2 episodes of Game of Thrones are garbage. It's 2.5 hours of just ranting.
He does episode 3, episode 4, and episode 5 that I've seen here. It's 37 minutes, 46 minutes, and then episode 5 is 2 hours, 37 minutes. Right? Which is still nothing compared to his Star Wars The Last Jedi, right? Which is in 3 parts. The first part's an hour and 20 minutes, then an hour and 48 minutes, and then an hour and 52 minutes. It's over 5 hours of ranting about Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Just being mad. Yeah.
Yep. And probably being pretty right.
Yeah. I mean, in this Game of Thrones one, there's some repetition. There's a lot of like, here's why they screwed up Jaime. And then an hour later, he's like, here's why they screwed up Jaime, just in case you forgot. And I'm like, all right, hold on. There's a little bit of that.
There's a little bit of that.
He basically goes through and like explains how so many of the characters in those last couple episodes completely betray the entire character arc that they've been developing towards, and how they act in ways that make no sense in the context of the rest of the show.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just nice to get some concrete reasons as to why I didn't like it. Because you're watching it and you're like, this is wrong, this feels wrong, and you can't quite put your finger on it. And then he's like, hey, check this out, this is why. And you're like, ah, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it does make no sense at all for Jaime Lannister to be like, I don't care about the common people, when his entire arc has been about caring about the common people over time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all.
I did, however, watch his The Predator video on last year's The Predator movie. Whew, that movie looks real bad.
Oh, I remember that now. I totally forgot it existed. Yeah, okay.
Did you see that movie?
No. I watched the trailer for it because I was on the fence about it, and then I never got around to watching it.
Yeah, for the best.
Yeah.
It's yeah. God, it is something really cathartic about watching someone just tear apart something that's actually really bad. I don't know.
For sure.
Just being able to deconstruct why everything in their plot makes no sense and is terrible for a franchise is soothing.
Yeah, totally. It's just it makes sense, right? It just puts things in perspective.
Yes.
Well, all right. Think we're done then. Anything else you can talk about today?
Nope. I think that's about it.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for hanging out with us today. Again, if you have any feedback for the pod, feel free to hit me up at falconpaladin@gmail.com. We can talk about it. Thank you for the feedback about sound levels recently, too. That was appreciated. So we do read your emails. Also, please check out the Patreon if you're interested in supporting the podcast financially, and then the show notes and the merch and whatnot also exist. So again, until next time, thanks for being here, and you take care of yourself.